Hello, everyone. We're in the backyard.
We're in the backyard. It's been a while.
I'm Steve.
And I'm Scott.
And together we're Backyard Musings.
We are. We will not talk about why we're in the backyard.
Technical difficulties.
Yeah, all around. Anyway, here we go.
So here we go. Iron-fueled microbes helped life survive Earth's toxic oxygen-free beginnings. Our planet did not always resemble the blue and green world we know today. I believe that, right? I mean, bit by bit, Heavenly Father created it, right? The atmosphere, the
You
land,
think
the
it
water.
looked more like Yellowstone National Park with all the geysers and the mud pots and all that stuff?
And Pangea, one continent, of course, because that broke up after Noah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, in its distant past, atmospheric oxygen levels were roughly 1 million times lower than they are now. I totally believe it. There were no forests, no animals, and none of the familiar life forms that depend on oxygen to survive. In fact, for early organisms, oxygen was poisonous.
Oh.
Would you like to know more of what life looked like in that hostile environment?
A recent study led by Fatima Lee Howe, graduate student at ELSI at the time of the research, and supervised by Associate Professor Sean McGlynn, at the time of the research, at the Earth's Life Science Institute of Science, Tokyo, Japan, set out to investigate this question. The team turned to iron pitch hot springs that resemble the chemistry of ancient oceans during one of Earth's most dramatic transitions, the rise of atmospheric oxygen.
Yeah, like primordial.
Yeah.
Their results suggest that early microbial communities gained energy by combining iron with small amounts of oxygen produced by photosynthetic microbes. This points to a transitional ecosystem in which life repurposed what had once been a harmful byproduct into a new energy source before photosynthesis became widespread and dominant.
So this was during one of the seasons, though, right? This is one of the creative seasons.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Because it said no plants and
just land.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Around 2.3 billion years ago, the Great Oxygenation Event, or GOE, marked a major turning point in Earth's history. The increase in atmospheric oxygen was likely driven by green cyanobacteria that used sunlight to split water molecules and convert carbon dioxide into oxygen through photosynthesis.
Okay, like naturally what we experience, but this is probably taken over millions of years.
Yeah.
Today, Earth's atmosphere consists roughly of 78% nitrogen, 21% oxygen, with only small amounts of gases such as methane, carbon dioxide, which likely played a larger role before oxygen became abundant. The GOE permanently altered the trajectory of life. Oxygen made complex life possible, including animals that rely on it to breathe. Now,
obviously, Heavenly Father would not have put animals and insects and life, people life,
step by step, bit by bit,
line by line. Yep. Exactly.
The line to breathe. However, it also posed a serious challenge to earlier life forms that had evolved in an oxygen-poor world and had little exposure to the O2 molecule.
It's okay. We'll get through it.
How these ancient microbes managed to survive the spread of oxygen remains a central scientific question.
To explore how microbes adapted, the researchers examined 5 Japanese hot springs with distinct chemical properties. These sites included one in Tokyo and 2 each in Akita and Amori. Prefectures, sorry. All naturally rich in ferrous iron, a dissolved form of iron that was once common in early oceans.
Okay, such springs are rare today because in oxygen-rich conditions, ferrous iron reacts quickly with oxygen and transforms into ferric iron, different from ferrous iron, which is insoluble. Yet, that's probably rust. Yet in these particular springs, that's the NSA.
Yep, they're back.
Yep, the water still contains abundant ferrous iron, limited oxygen, and near neutral pH levels. These conditions are thought to resemble parts of the early Earth's oceans.
In 4 of the 5 springs, microaerophilic iron oxidizing bacteria were the dominant organisms. These microbes thrive in environments with very little oxygen and obtain energy by converting ferrous iron into ferric iron. Cyanobacteria, which generate oxygen through photosynthesis, were also present, though in smaller numbers.
One spring in Akita stood out. There, microbes relying on non-iron based metabolisms were more common, showing that not all sites followed the same pattern. Using metagenomic techniques, that sounds impressive. The researchers reconstructed more than 200 high-quality 200 microbial genomes to better understand how these communities function. They discovered that microbes linking iron and oxygen metabolism were able to turn toxic compound into an energy source while maintaining conditions that allowed oxygen-sensitive anaerobes to survive.
All right, understand the survive part. These microbial communities also supported essential processes such as carbon and nitrogen cycling. In addition, the team detected genetic evidence of a partial sulfur cycle, including genes involved in sulfide oxidation and sulfate assimilation. This finding was unexpected because the springs contain very little sulfur. That's interesting.
Yeah.
The researchers maybe they weren't hot springs. Maybe they were just cold springs. The researchers suggest that this could reflect a cryptic sulfur cycle in which microbes recycle sulfur through complex pathways that are not yet fully understood.
Well said. The findings challenge and refine current ideas about early ecosystems. They suggest that primitive microbes may have relied on both iron oxidation and small amounts of oxygen produced by early phototrophs to power their metabolism. The study proposes that early Earth, much like these modern hot springs, likely supported diverse microbial communities. Iron oxidizing bacteria, anaerobes, and cyanobacteria may have lived together, influencing local oxygen levels and shaping emerging ecosystems.
Together, these discoveries enhance our understanding of how life evolved during one of Earth's most transformative periods. They also provide valuable insights for scientists searching for life on other planets with chemical environments similar to early Earth. Okay.
What do you think?
Well, as usual,
primordial soup.
I know absolutely nothing about probably 90% of what we talked about, but it sounded interesting. So, anyway, it's cool that these people are out there studying this stuff.
All right, folks. We'll see you in the afternoon. Thank you for joining us.
Yep. Take care. Thanks for being here in the morning.